Hello and welcome to Ticker Symbol Live, the channel where we take a look at ARK Invest stock picks every day and compare them to their positions the day before. Today, I'm excited to share with you everything I know about Peloton stock because Peloton was one of their biggest purchases yesterday during the market trading day. So, hope everyone's having a good morning today. I'm going to roll right into it. Let's take a look at the ARK reactor, and we can see all of the things that happened during yesterday's market day. And you'll see that we talked about Pinduoduo, which again was their biggest purchase yesterday after we talked about it. And then second is Peloton. They increased their position by almost 26%. They hold just over $93 million in Peloton, making it their 103rd biggest position overall. Peloton is held in ARKW, ARK Invest fund themed around the next generation of internet applications. Peloton is a lifestyle company. It's a software company, it's a hardware company, and it's a digital service. So we're going to talk about all of those things in a moment. But based on some feedback, what I wanted to do real quick was just walk you through some of their other trades for the day and show you that Peloton is the most interesting trade that we haven't covered so far. So, number one, Pinduoduo. That was yesterday's topic. Number two, Peloton. Number three was a company called Vuzix. They're a smart glass company, which I'm very bullish on and we'll talk about in the future. And then you can see that the buys from yesterday drop off fairly quickly. Not very meaningful percentage increases in any one position. And as we go down, we can see most of the trades have been a less than 1% increase and pretty solid even numbers across the board, indicating that this isn't really a purchase because of a conviction. This is a purchase because their assets under management have increased since the day before, and they're just putting those funds, those new funds, into the stocks as they should be distributed among their ETFs. So as we keep going down and down the list, you can see 0.12%, 0%, and then a few sales for the day. Sales we often cover when there's something interesting. They sold Netflix, not because there's anything wrong with Netflix, but because it's a cash-like position for Cathie Wood. Same with Taiwan Semiconductor, right? We've talked about Splunk in the past, and I have nothing to say about Verisk Analytics. I don't know what that stock is. And, of course, Okta, they have sold out their position. And I'm sure they'll buy it back and sell it out again, and buy it back and sell it out again. Okta is a cybersecurity stock. It is a, identity authentication app that you use to securely log into work applications, for example. So just quickly scrolling back up again to show you not many interesting purchases since the most recent trading day. So that's why we're going to be talking about Peloton. By far the most interesting purchase and a wonderful company. So let's dive into their investor deck. And boy, do they have an awesome investor deck. When I read this morning, I was super impressed. By the end of this presentation, you're going to walk away understanding Peloton as a product, Peloton as a service, and Peloton as a growing industrious business. It's going to be awesome. So let me quickly stop sharing that screen and move on to what I've prepared for you today. Hopefully you can see this. Hopefully it's the right scale here. I blew it up as best I can. Peloton uses technology and design to connect the world through fitness, empowering people to be the best version of themselves anywhere and anytime. And of course, lately, that means at home, right? So think about Peloton not only as a lifestyle app and program, but now your at-home solution to a fundamental problem of how do I get my workout in if I used to be a gym member when public gatherings and public places and sanitation are becoming increasingly big issues and everything is moving to contactless. Gyms are certainly one of the hardest, and all workout centers are certainly one of the hardest hit areas of business in the pandemic. So that's something huge in Peloton's favor, even though they came out well before the pandemic, right? They're a big pandemic beneficiary. But that's honestly not how they see themselves. They see themselves as a technology and design company, and that's really important because they do a great job being a technology and design company even before the pandemic hit, right? And so that really sits on the entire tech stack, right? And they do a great job calling this out. So their hardware is an award-winning bike and a new award-winning treadmill. Their software is that client-side app that connects people to world-class entertainers and educators in the fitness space. They produce more than 24 hours of new television and content every single day, which means that if you wanted to watch all of Peloton's content that day, you couldn't do it, right? They literally produce more content than there are hours in a day every day. And that's because they have a wide variety of services now, ranging from treadmills to bikes to running outside to yoga and meditation, powerlifting, etc., etc. They do a great job of catering to a wide variety of at-home workout audiences and on-the-go workout audiences, as it turns out. They're in over 100 different types of retail stores, and they have a growing global operation. So they're expanding into new markets, and that's what we're going to talk about now. One of the things I want to start doing is focusing a little more on financials. This is a vision-driven channel. We're looking at the vision of one company that ARK holds at a time, but ARK Invest is big on exponential growth. So I just want to show you that their year-over-year growth in terms of revenue follows the same exponential trajectory, right? 2020, again, massively helped by the pandemic, but what the pandemic is doing is showing people the convenience of these solutions they used to go out for. Now they can get that convenience at home. And when things return back to normal, I strongly believe there will be a new normal in all of these industries. Not everyone is going to go rejoin a gym just because gyms are open. Turns out that people really like their Peloton, and that's not going to change just because a competitor reopens their doors. And that's an important point to remember. The stickiness of Peloton, as we'll find out, is incredibly high. So exponential revenue, right? And I expect to see this trend continue through 2021 at least. It might level off a little bit, but again, it's 2021 and here we are still inside our homes, teleworking, etc., right? And one thing I love that they always call out, and you'll see that over and over through this investor deck, which, by the way, I have linked in the description below because it's massive and there's no way we can go through it in a single episode, is they do things in terms of fitness subscriptions, which is how they make money, but also in terms of total workouts, which is how they see themselves as really benefiting the world. You'll see a lot of their metrics are just in total workouts. They care about keeping people engaged, keeping people happy. So their bottom line, as funny as it is to say, of course their bottom line is in dollars, but it's also in keeping their clients engaged and happy. And they call that out over and over through this presentation. And I love that they do that. So I want to call it out during this review. So total workouts, exponential growth, right? And that was through all of 2020, they saw that. And I think what's going to happen is people are going to keep enjoying their workouts at home, and they're going to realize the convenience and honestly the high production value of the workouts and the media that Peloton provides. So let's talk a little bit about their products, right? Peloton, the core product of the Peloton is the bike. They are making new changes and new additions and new enhancements to the bike, and they've released a treadmill to go alongside the bike, right? So they're really capitalizing on their cardio equipment hardware sales. And the trick to both of these is they have a massive screen that lets you enjoy and engage with the Peloton software side of things, the app, as well as the media experience that Peloton provides, focused on entertainment and working out, right? So keeping you engaged during your workout and keeping you instructed during your workout. Peloton bike changed an industry. We can spend all day tearing down the bike and looking at its cool parts. I'm going to skip through a lot of the great stuff they're saying about the bike, but I just want to call out some of the specs of the product, right? One of the great things is that touchscreen fully rotates. So if you have multiple people in your household or you're hosting a little workout party, you and your partner, you and your friends, whatever, you can rotate that screen so one person can be on the bike, one person can be on the floor, and you can both see the screen. Or if you're doing something not related to the bike, you can just turn the screen and use the screen with Peloton software to do whatever else. Digital resistance adjustment, all of the great ergonomics that come with a good workout bike. They're constantly improving the actual workout component of the bike, even though a lot of the margin comes from the software side. And of course, it comes with an 8 megapixel camera, so the instructor can see you for the instruction classes if you're not just downloading a pre-recorded video. Follow along with target metrics, Apple Watch integrations, built-in soundbars, the list goes on and on. And what they're trying to do is provide a one-stop shop in terms of products for your workout experience. They want to own everything, right? They don't want you to buy a separate soundbar, a separate screen, stick an iPad on there. They want to control all of that. They are fully vertically integrated, and that's super important. And of course, they break down exactly why they do that and how that affects and enhances the Peloton experience. But the key metric here is they're making these products in a way that's more affordable so they can get their hardware inside more homes in more parts of the world. They're constantly expanding their market on two fronts. One, just the app subscription, so you can download and subscribe to Peloton service without buying their treadmill or their bike. You can just get access to their instructors and their media package and their songs and all that stuff. Or you can buy their products and engage with them through the fully integrated service, which is you're on the Peloton bike, the instructor's on the Peloton bike. You're getting everything, including the nuts and bolts, as part of that experience, right? So that's what they're talking about when they say more affordable in more homes in more parts of the world. They're referring to their hardware sales. Remember, they're a hardware and software company, so that's why I'm calling that out. And the way they're doing that is they're changing the way they manufacture and the things that go into their Peloton bike and their treadmill. They're going to have a more budget-friendly version of these options and a more premium version of these options. So we can do the same thing we did for the bike. We can look at all the great stuff that's in the treadmill, and you'll see it mirrors the bike except for the parts that are actually treadmill related, right? That same big screen that's going to be rotatable. It's going to have that camera so that you can interface with the class, with the instructors. It's going to have that big touchscreen so you can integrate with the app. It's going to have the same software integrations for Apple and beyond. It's a full Peloton product. So they're clearly expanding their product line on the hardware side, which is big, right? As investors, that's what we care about. We want to see that they can get into more homes and in more different ways. Hey, I'm not in the market for a bike, but I'd buy a treadmill, right? Great. So two different versions of the Tread and the Tread Plus, two different versions of the bike and the Bike Plus. Let's talk about engagement. This is what I think we're all here for as investors. This is a roadmap of their history in terms of the things that they've offered over time. So cycling is how Peloton got started. They're famous for that bike. Strength training and stretching, cardio, yoga and meditation, outdoor running and walking, stretching and boot camps, right? So more specific, targeted, localized events, meditation, cycling, and then expansion into dance, and then expansion into strength for the UK, right? So lots of services. I wasn't aware that they did all of these different programs when I first heard about Peloton. I thought that they were focused on mostly cycling and maybe just the treadmill. So it's cool to see that they offer all these varied programs. Peloton is a huge media streaming service. They make a lot of premium content you can only get on Peloton centered around infotainment, right? So the info part of that is the actual workout instruction. The tainment part of that is obviously going to be the songs, the things that keep you engaged when you're in the middle of the workout and you're zoned in, you know, those high beat per minute engaging songs while you're running, while you're biking, and while you're treadmilling. They have a wide variety of programming across all of their core education platforms, right? So whether you're talking about more programming catering directly to the classes, or you're just interested in streaming some of your favorite artists while you have a self-guided workout. And they keep continuing to add more, and we can go down the list of all of the great offerings that they offer to augment workouts, right? Ultimately, this is my favorite slide of the presentation, right? What we are getting for all this content, what are we getting for investing in all this content? High return. But look at what they mean when they say high return. Average monthly workouts per subscription, right? There's no dollars on this chart, not one. All they care about on this chart is how many people are using their platform to work out. How are they doing on customer engagement? And I love that they're willing to separate the engagement from dollars, right? They're treating people as people. They're realizing that the reason people are here is to work out and be engaged. And then, of course, that turns into dollars as a byproduct, which is great. So here's another slide. No dollars on this investor deck. This is an investor presentation, right? Total number of workouts is shifting, right? Members are increasingly going beyond cycling for workouts. 64%, so 2/3 roughly still in cycling, but strength training, floor training, meditation and yoga, running and outdoor are all segments that they are starting to meaningfully capture. You can see that this goes year by year, so 2017 on the bottom, 2020 on the top, and all of the bars besides cycling are expanding, which is good, right? They're getting into new markets, they're growing. Digital members are embracing strength, meditation, and yoga, so offering new products and services, right? And growing adoption across verticals, right? So what's happening is they're getting a lot of cross sells and upsells, right? People are trying new things as a result of being members of the Peloton ecosystem. That's important because cross sells, once you acquire a customer once, you've paid that customer acquisition cost, and getting them into new products becomes much cheaper. Those sales become much more efficient and they make a lot more earnings per share. So I want to start calling financial metrics out a little bit more. And this is a clear example of why that matters, even though nothing on this chart is in units of dollars. And of course, engagement, you can break it down by region instead of by application or by service. And you can see that in Canada, in the UK, in the US, very similar engagement rates quarter by quarter. And of course, they're trying to keep expanding they're trying to get in front of more customers by expanding the way that customers can engage with them. Android, TVs, and smart TVs as well. And of course, iOS is how they launched in the beginning. And then finally, there's subscription service, right? So we talked about the software side of things and how they engage people with media. We've talked about the hardware side of things and the bike and the treadmill. The last thing to talk about is the subscription. Peloton is a subscription. So this is a look at their churn. How many people are leaving the platform quarter by quarter, right? The goal is to keep as many people for as long as possible. So they average a 0.64% churn rate. What does that actually mean? That means after 3 years, 80% of people stick with Peloton. Let me say that again. You subscribe, and 3 years later, 4 out of 5 people that subscribed 3 years ago stay with Peloton. And I read a whole bunch of reviews on Peloton just in preparation for this. People love their Peloton. It's expensive, and people agree, hey, yeah, it's a premium product, but it's part of a lifestyle. They feel better 24/7 by interacting with their platform 1 hour a day, right? So you're not investing in a exercise bike. You're investing in the Peloton product, service, lifestyle, right? The community and so on. And people love that. They love the way Peloton makes them feel, just like you probably love the way owning an iPhone makes you feel. And that's important because when Peloton can tug at your heartstrings, you're going to stay with them for a long time. And that's exactly what this chart is showing. People stay with Peloton on average way longer than 3 years. 80% stay 3 years. That means on average, it's probably way, way longer, right? And younger people are engaging with Peloton more often. That's probably because they're digitally native. But remember, millennials, like me, are the income-starved generation, right? There's a lack of excess of jobs. The job market is tough. The housing market is tough. Space is limited. Options are limited. And we're still buying Pelotons. So that's really great to see. When we think about Peloton, we don't think about buying an exercise bike, is what that chart is saying. What we're thinking about is making an investment in ourselves, in our lifestyle, in our health, in our happiness, right? And we're buying a Peloton to fill that need, regardless of the space that it costs us through the physical footprint of the exercise bike and the money it costs us through the expense of the physical device as well as the service over time. People think they're getting more than that value from Peloton, so they're sticking to it. And even young people are willing to pay that price. Fitness subscription growth, we can go on and on about Peloton's amazing metrics. My point is to show you that they're a really stand-up business and they're doing great on the business side as well. And that was it. That was the last slide I had to talk about. So I have a question for you. I like keeping these things interactive. I've just done a lot of talking at you. Tell me what you think about at-home lifestyle brands. Do you work out? Do you have another hobby that you shifted from doing outside your house to now doing inside your house? Are you engaging with a digital community where you used to engage with a physical community? I'm very interested to understand how you look at Peloton. Do you see it as just a workout solution? Do you see it as a lifestyle brand? And by extension, what do you think about Fitbit, Apple Watch? I'm wearing an Amazon Halo right now. What do you think about these at-home physical devices for workout solutions? I'm curious to know your thoughts. Definitely feel free to comment below, tweet at me at tickersymbolu, right? I'm super interested in how you engage with a digital community, or if you still try to engage with physical communities in 2021. So I'll take a few questions and comments about Peloton, and then we'll wrap it up. I love the company. I definitely do not think it's too late for Peloton. I think they have an increasingly growing market on the software side, the hardware side, and just the services side. So I like to see them expand. I think they're going to be a global winner and a generational at-home workout company. That's my personal thoughts on Peloton. That's not financial advice. I have a Fitbit and walk around the neighborhood, so let's look at some of these comments. Great. Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing with my Amazon Halo. I like to check the app from time to time. I think it's cool to see some quantifiable metrics around my health and ways that I can improve. You know, one of the big things about this one is it helps measure your sleep score. And I'm up 24/7, so I have trouble sleeping. So this is a cool way to remind me to do things like lower my access to blue light at the end of the day, or try meditating for 5 minutes before bed, or turn my phone off before I go to sleep. So it helps me build good physical habits, even though it's a digital product. What's the competition for these guys? Yep. I think this is the exactly right question to ask. There isn't any. When you decide not to buy a Peloton, you're going to go buy a regular exercise bike, not that there's anything wrong with that, or a regular treadmill or whatever. You're going to buy a separate iPad or other tablet to keep yourself entertained, and you're going to do all of the direction yourself. You're going to go download a class that day. You're going to go find a fitness instructor or podcast you like and download them. The Peloton experience is fully vertically integrated, right? Just like an iPhone owns its hardware stack, its software stack, and its services, Peloton does the same thing. So you're buying into the whole stack to have Peloton guide you through that lifestyle, that part of your lifestyle, instead of you having to guide yourself through that lifestyle. I don't think there's another Peloton. I think you have to buy the separate pieces of a Peloton when you decide not to go with Peloton. I've moved from a gym built at home. I've moved from a gym to having a built at-home gym with weights, kettlebells, cardio that can be done without much equipment. This move encouraged me to buy an Apple Watch. Great move. Totally agree with that. So whether you decide to piecemeal your solution or you decide to go with a fully vertically integrated solution, the result is the same. A lot of people are moving their hobbies from wherever that hobby used to take place, a gym, a workout center, whatever your hobby was, to at home. And so now new business models are springing up, catering to that entire experience. Remember, when you go to a gym, it's not just about access to equipment. It's about the cleanliness of the facility, the convenience of getting there, how long were you stuck in traffic getting there and back, the cleanliness of the locker rooms, for example. Is there TV screens busted? Is anyone at the front desk? Think about all of the other experiences that go into going to a gym that you kind of, I don't care about that because that's not core to the gym, but that frustrate you as part of that gym experience. Peloton is owning all of that, right? Because they provide the screen, the bike, the service, the instructor, the media, and all that, they can fine tune every piece of that to make sure your entire workout experience is fantastic, start to finish, not just the individual components. That's the difference. Take a couple more questions and then I'll let everyone go. It's almost 9 o'clock. Google has completed its acquisition of Fitbit. Together we can make health and wellness more accessible for more people. Right. But Fitbit isn't a bike. Fitbit is not a treadmill. Fitbit is a, Amazon Halo, Apple Watch peer, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of competition in the smartwatch space. If Peloton comes out with a bracelet that more accurately measures certain things and integrates with the Peloton app and all that, that bracelet will compete with the iWatch and the other smart watches designed around fitness, health, and wellness. That's for sure. But Peloton's device, you buy those things in parallel, right? You can buy a Fitbit and a Peloton and not feel like you made a redundant purchase there, right? That's important because Peloton is finding a way to bring more fitness devices into the home without competing with existing fitness devices, right? You're not making a choice between a Fitbit and a Peloton bike. Great question, or great comment. Leaving this banner up for a second, I definitely want to keep knowing what you think about these at-home lifestyle brands, not just in the sense of workouts, but what do you think about Apple, for example, used to be a great lifestyle brand. It still is. That's not what I'm trying to say. But, the quintessential Apple poster child is that guy working in the cafe in a Starbucks with his, MacBook Pro, his Dre Beats and a latte next to him, right? And he's there 8 hours a day doing something artistic, right? Whether it's design, whether it's writing or whatever. That's what I think of when I think of Apple, the lifestyle. But now that cafe culture has dramatically changed around the coronavirus, you're buying Apple more because you believe in its product family, its services, all of its offerings as an individual product, instead of building that outward appearance of being an Apple user. And that's not a dig against Apple, by the way. That's a core reason why people own Apple, because they feel like it's a reflection of themselves when they go out and they show people, they pick up their iPhone and make a call or text or whatever, being part of that Apple ecosystem. But now there's a lot less chances to do that. So are people still buying Apple for the same reasons, different reasons? I think Peloton has that struggle inverted, right? When gyms open back up, what's going to happen to the Peloton lifestyle? Well, because it's already convenient, I think it's going to have a lot of staying power, because it's not about showing off your Peloton bike. It's about actually using it. And that's the difference. I like the interactive questions. I'm so happy. I really like doing them as well. It's cool. It keeps me on my toes, and I never know what I'm going to get, right? So I think I will end it there. I think Peloton is awesome. One thing we can definitely do is we can take a quick look at the stock just to see what the price action is like. So let's do that real quick. Peloton is currently trading at $108. It looks like it'll be $104 at market open today. It had a recent high of $167, so it's 35% off recent highs. And again, that means because it's 2/3 of its highest price, it'll be 3/2 your investment if it touches a new all-time high. So again, one of those companies where 30% off the top means 50% gains if you choose to buy it today. We walked through some of its financials today. That's been a good call out for the stream in general. Hopefully you see that it's on an exponential growth trajectory. It's constantly increasing the services it provides. It's constantly increasing the products it provides. And it's constantly working on increasing true engagement. Not engagement in terms of dollars and conversion rates, but they think in terms of workouts as a workout company. And that's one thing that makes me extremely bullish on Peloton. And to answer the question on the thumbnail of this video, I do not believe it is too late for Peloton. And obviously, neither does ARK Invest, since they just increased their stake by another 20-ish%. Thanks for watching. This is Ticker Symbol Live. My name is Alex, reminding you that the best investment you can make is in you.